hell yeah.
Captain Kelly, why am I not catching fish?
Because you're a sucky fisherman.
No. Man, what started out to be such a good day, probably one of the best summer days we was gonna have, ended up being a nightmare from the time we got on the water to the time we got off the water. Me and my son got the jet ski running. We hadn't used it all year, so we got it going, and he was excited wanting to ride it, and I said, well, shoot, bring it out. And we had a friend, Elias, came in from California, one of Kelly's real good childhood friends, and mine as well, but you know, I met him through her. And Elias come out and stayed with us for about a week, and it was a good time, but in the meantime, while they were traveling, you know, from home coming out to the lake, me and Sean were, you know, just messing around, riding a jet ski, running a big boat, just having fun and excited about the day. And I don't know, man, it just went south, and it went south fast. So when Kelly and Elias got out there with Bug and everything and brought some more stuff, we had trouble with the jet ski. It just kept breaking down. It was like, really? And I'd run over to him, I'd get started again and take off again. And we fooled with it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And finally I was like, all right, let's just put the jet ski on the trailer and be done. We'll run the big boat, we'll go have fun. And as soon as we got out there, got anchored, you know, got stocked and everything done, Bill's pump starts kicking on. And you'll hear more about that when I'm talking later, but it just sucked. And everything I'm fixing to tell you in this video is not what happened at all, because I got the motor out. And now that the motor's out and I realized what I'd gotten into, it's very sad. Very sad for old Shannon. It's gonna take a minute to get this thing back going. So this is part one. You'll see part two real soon. I'm working on it right now while I'm talking to you and recording this. So y'all hang in there with me. It'll get better. Pray for me. What's the deal, Pickles? How y'all doing this morning? I wanted to go live, but unfortunately I found out the hard way that if you don't have enough subscribers, you can't go live until you get 1,000. And I still got about 900 and something more to go, 905. But we took the big boat out yesterday, got the jet ski running pretty good, and it kept giving us trouble. At some point I lost power on my big boat, and it felt like I had a prop slip, like the rubber had spun out, or it had lost its water and lost its power, or possibly a carburetor fuel issue. So I backed it down to about 800,000 RPMs, almost, just right off of neutral, just idle. And eased up through there real slow, and then I slowly got back into the throttle again. Picked right up, run like a champ. I thought, well, I wonder what that was all about. It didn't feel like I had hit anything. And I can't say that I did, and I can't say that I didn't. I've been running down the river in a bass boat running 50, 60 mile an hour and thump something. I know what it feels like to hit something. Of course, with this big boat, it don't run nowhere near that fast. And it bulldozes so much water. Well, it stopped recording for some reason, but excuse me. Usually they'll bulldoze water, these big boats will, and it'll push a lot of your debris out of the way if there is something under the surface. But I was up on plane, running along when it done it. So we kept fooling with the jet ski. It kept wanting to be silly and give us trouble. And finally we're like, screw it, let's just load the jet ski back up. Let's go enjoy our day. You can just sit on a trailer in the parking lot. So that's what we did. So we got back out, went over to a place called Tin Can where we could get everybody out of the boat, get the dog out, stuff like that, let everybody play for a while. And it was brought to my attention that my bilge pump was kicking on. And this boat never takes water, ever. It's never took water till yesterday. And of course, I got under the water trying to see, and the water's too murky at Old Hickory. You couldn't see anything. And I went down the engine compartment as far as I could to try to see what was going on in there, to see where a leak's coming from. So I had to move everything off the engine hood to where I could get down inside. Sorry, I'm hoarse this morning. But so I got down inside the engine, and it sounded like a water hose just trickling into a puddle. I was like, oh no. So I don't know if I've had a gimbal boot slip back. I don't know if I thumped something, but I did notice a crack. Not in the transom, but I've never fooled with a boat like this one that's set up this way. And it's hard to see if it's fiberglass or if it's the actual gimbal housing itself, but it looked like a crack in the bottom. I don't necessarily think that's where the water's coming in at. I think it's coming through that gimbal boot. But when it cracked, did it let it twist to where it popped that boot loose somehow? Or did a stick get in there and pop the boot loose? The boot's still tight. Something just landed on me. That's what I don't understand. So I got a lot of questions and no answers, and very discouraged. I don't mind. Y'all know I'm always working on stuff, and I don't mind it. But I've worked so hard on this boat, and I've been looking so forward to using it more this year. And I've been busy with my regular job that I haven't got to really enjoy it. And of course, we were, wanting to take it down to blue water, this year before the summer's over. And boy, if this is as bad as what I think it is, all hope is lost. Well, it ain't lost, but man, it's going to take a whole lot to make it happen. And a lot of money too. So the old boat does have insurance. If I hit something, I don't mind to do a claim and just let it be handled rather than, then I know it's fixed right. But if I didn't hit something, and this is just something that's a freak of nature that's happened, I can't in good conscience, rip off an insurance company. I can't rip off anybody. I think that's why I have so much bad luck, is because sometimes I'm too good for my own good. But I refuse to intentionally treat people wrong. I mean, I'm guilty. I've done stuff. I've messed up. But it wasn't on purpose. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see how this thing works. But I don't think Flex Seal is going to fix this one. I wished it would, but I don't think it is. So I've crawled under the bottom and checked everything, looking for scars, scratches, scrapes. I mean, it's got some wear and tear, but not nothing that would show me that I took a hard enough hit to do the damage that I think I've got. But you never know. I mean, it may not be as bad as I think it is. I just got to try to get this camera down under that engine because I can't get in there. I've tried. And I'm going to pull these tanks out and all this stuff again to get down under that motor. So, y'all say a prayer for me that it's not as bad as what I think it is, and it won't be near as expensive for me to fix as I think it's going to be. Today, we finally diagnosed the problem. There's an exhaust Y pipe on these Mercruisers, and one side had a crack in it. And this boat's never ran hot since I've owned it. It's never given me any trouble. I mean, it's been out in the Gulf offshore. It's always done a great job. And it's always, I've kept it flushed, I've kept it serviced. I mean, I run Mobil 1, oil in it. Oil ain't got nothing to do with the exhaust, but I'm just saying, I've always took care of this boat since I've had it. But this old boat's set, which I need to do a show on this boat sometime. This old boat's set for about 15 years, 12 to 15 years. It was a repo. And I bought it off a guy who became a really, really good friend of mine. And I think a whole lot of him. And he gave me a heck of a deal on it. And said, there it is. I said, okay. And he had bought it through a bank or through an auction or something. So, but it's been an awesome boat, and I love this old boat, and I'm so happy I don't have to do an insurance claim because I've got a great insurance company. Farm Bureau Insurance insures everything I own except for my big trucks, my tractor trailers and stuff, and they don't do commercial like that. And I don't want to do anything that would jeopardize that relationship. Farm Bureau's good people, and they've been good to me. We got hit with the tornadoes a couple of years ago and tore our roof up, and they come out here and took care of it, and they're really good people. So unfortunately, the motor's got to come out. And not only does the motor have to come out, you got to drop the outdrive to get the motor out. Well, I've done got the outdrive off. I didn't show it, but the outdrive's off. I may throw a picture up or something here in a minute. So this old boat here's been good to me. So I gotta try to take care of it. Sorry about it may not being as lively and as fun as usual, but man, it's been a rough weekend. I'm ready to go back to work. Unfortunately, when I get back to work, as soon as I get off, I got to start pulling the motor tomorrow. So we'll get this stuff done. Get back on the water. Get doing some boating, because I'm going to wear this thing out the rest of this year. I'm going to still do some fishing, but I'm fixing to enjoy this big boat when I get this fixed. And while I got it out, I'm going to go ahead and check everything else. That way I can just dunk her in the water and go, and hopefully, Lord willing, still make blue water before the year's over. So, I ain't holding my breath, but I ain't give up just yet. I'm close to it, but not just yet. So, all right. Well, let's get it done. I didn't do any videoing much of what I'm doing because I'm in such a time crunch to get this done, because I want this thing fixed and back on the water by next weekend. So I've removed the outdrive, and I've got it tied up and ready to transport the boat. We're going to take it over at my cousin's shop and use a mini excavator and lift this motor out. I know what's wrong. I've got all the back seat pulled apart. All I got to do now is remove the hood for the engine, which is down there. And once I get the engine hood removed, I can crawl in there and unbolt the motor, which the motor won't take long to prep, to pull. Hour. Probably 45 minutes to an hour. And we're going to chain that bad boy up and pull it out. It is what it is. So tomorrow we lift. This will be part one. Part two, I'll try to get more footage and give y'all a better idea of what I'm doing. So in the meantime, like wherever that like button is, subscribe, tell your mama and them about us, win the lottery, and send me some money. Y'all have a great day. God bless you guys. Ring that bell.